Senate Republicans, correct, to say that states need to make it on their own.
Well, you know, interestingly enough, unfortunately, some of the thought process here in D.C. is kind of like what you just reiterated, that these states find themselves in this position. They didn't find themselves in this position. They put themselves in this position. For me, and I think for a number of us up here, from conservative states, from people who believe in personal responsibility, and individuals and states and entities and businesses taking responsibility for their own actions, this falls in the category of over my dead body. No, we're not going to bail out states.
Okay, and so you've got a dozen Senate Republicans so far that are joining you in this effort. Do you feel that you can have the momentum and political wherewithal to get other people to join in your beliefs and actually make this happen? Because I think it's coming down the road very soon.
Well, it could be coming down the road. I don't know if it's up to us as much as it is the American people. I have a feeling that, that people who live in states, and this is the vast majority of them, who, although they're having difficult times, have their house in order. That is, they're still standing, they're getting along, they're paying their bills, they have balanced budgets. These people don't want to pay for the freewheeling, happy hour spending that's gone on in these other states.
I think you just encourage it if you do that. You foster them to be irresponsible. It's like, you know, wanton teenagers with a checkbook. They're just going to keep, you know, spending if mom and dad are going to bail them out.
Let me tell you about Idaho people. They're conservative, they're hard-working, they believe in personal responsibility, and, you know, just because these other states have enacted these generous retirement programs and this over-the-top welfare spending and all the other kinds of things that they spend money on, my Idaho people should not have to pay for that. They don't want to pay for it. They have tough enough time making ends meet where we are, but we're doing it. We're going through some austerity, but we're making ends meet, and we're going to continue to do that. We don't want to get put on the same sinking boat that that some of these other states are in. So
what you're telling me is you don't want to pay our $10 billion budget shortfall that we have in New York, right?
That would be an understatement.
You're like, you can handle it on your own, New York. Get it together. Illinois has $4.9 billion in budget shortfalls. We won't even get into California. I mean, what a mess that is over there. Mississippi, $634 million. Hawaii, $410 million. And let me tell you, where do you stop it? If you have, you know, one state after the next asking for a handout, asking to get bailed out, at what point do you turn a state away and give to one state and not to another? I think if by virtue of the fact, if you go ahead and bail out one state, you got to do them all that apply.
Well, clearly, and not only that, but you're dissipating even more the state boundaries. Look, we are 50 sovereign states.
Right.
Each state is responsible for its own financial stability. You know, in Idaho, for many, many years, public school spending, and we spend about 2/3 of every dollar on public schools. For many, many years, we never, ever cut public schools, and we spend about 50 cents of every dollar on K through 12.
Sure.
When I was governor, we had a lot of money. When I was in the state senate, we went through a couple of times when we had shortfalls. Now in the recent years, they've had serious shortfalls, and they've actually had to cut K through 12. It was painful. It was really, really painful. But the people of Idaho themselves made the choice that we will do the best with what we have. We are not going to raise taxes. To now hit us over the head with the problems of these other states just isn't right.
All right, well, you know a lot about your state, that's for sure, and about effective governing. I just want to mention, maybe people aren't aware, I mean, you're currently serving as Idaho's 28th senator, but also lieutenant governor and governor. I mean, you've had all the jobs, so you know how government works and how states should operate and be responsible financially inside out. So this coming from you says a lot.
Well, you know, I spent almost 3 decades in our state senate and as head of the Senate for a good share of that time. And I was responsible for making the budget balance every time we finished up the session. And it's a difficult job. There's no question about it. It requires sacrifice. But most of all, it requires something that is non-existent in this city, and that is setting your priorities funding through the money that you have, and then stopping.
Right.
It doesn't stop here. I mean, the situation here in D.C., most American people do not know how serious a financial problem the United States have.
They don't
We're incurring $4 to $5 billion of new debt every day.
Right.
It's about 12 hours. In Idaho's entire annual budget is about 12 hours of new debt for the federal government. It's absolutely stunning.
All right. Well, Senator Risch from the great state of Idaho, thank you so much for being here with us today. It's always a pleasure, and we'd love to have you back on the program again.